Hello, everyone. Welcome if you are new to the channel, and welcome back if you love me. I love you too. We're here for whatever spirit has come out. I am going to do some Pineapple Charming. I'm also going to do Astro Dice. I got Harrow out here. I've got 2 tarot decks. I've got the Chakra Wisdom Tarot and the Vice Versa Tarot, and I'm going to do some Shaman's Dream Oracle for guidance. Now, those of you who are new and not familiar with how these as unguided readings happen, I always hold the intention that any message were to come through me, it's in your highest good to hear it whenever it is that you cross the message and you hear it, right? Divine time. And I do them in 4 parts. Okay, the first part is figuring out if the message is for you. All right, and that's what Pineapple Charming and the Astro Dice are for. Pineapple Charming, for those of you who are not familiar with Pineapple Charming, he is a pineapple of my own creation. And he's got well over 1,000 charms inside of him. Okay, they're synchronicity charms for your discernment. So if one or more of the charms resonate with you, chances are there is a message in here for you. If not the whole message, then there's probably just one thing I say that it's going to click and you're like, that's why Spirit gave me the charms, right? That's why Spirit wanted me to watch this message, because I needed that to click. Because not every single reading on social media is meant for you, right? And I think a lot of people get sucked into the very unhealthy belief that they could force every reading to fit, and that's just not the case, right? We do a lot of readings on here, the divining collective, light working collective, and we tune into a lot of people, and it is not always your message. Okay, most of the time these messages are to confirm what you're already feeling and sensing within yourself, not to get your wheels spinning or send you on a tangent that you were not on prior to the reading. You know what I mean? Like if we start talking about cheating and shit and you're already suspecting your partner is cheating, chances are that is meant for you. But if you're in a happy, healthy relationship with somebody and the reading's talking about cheating, it doesn't resonate with you. Okay, you're in a happy, healthy relationship. It's not your message. You know what I mean? Like people try and force them to fit, and it's just, it's not healthy. So that's why we do Pineapple Charming and the Astro Dice, to figure out if there is anything in here for you. Okay, that's the first part. Then we get into some Harrow, and the Harrow is going to help give you an idea of the overall energy of the reading. If for whatever reason the charms resonated to you and the overall message is not really clicking, stick with it, but please only take what resonates, right? Please let the rest be for somebody else. Chances are you might need to revisit the message in a couple weeks, and then it will, of course, click and make a whole lot of fucking sense. Okay, so don't make any life-changing decisions. Just trust yourself moving forward. After we do Harrow, we get into some very specific stuff with the tarot. So that's going to pull out real, almost personal details. And then the last part is some guidance. All right. So I will have all the timestamps in the comments and in the description after the live is done. All right. So you can come back to it, skip around inside of it, skip the charms. If you just want to, do your own discernment type thing, like, to each their own. I just do as I'm guided. I'm just here because Spirit asked me to be here. That's it. That's it. All right. So what else? Okay. Oh, I always love seeing that money bag. Sometimes the charms are a message in and of themselves, and I love when certain charms come out. It's wonderful. So equally there's some oh fuck charms in there too, so pros, cons. All right, so we've got first and foremost money bags. So this may very well be a reading specific in regards to money, career, finances, possessions, earth synergy, right? Anything to do with the real world. Definitely something to do with money. All right. We've also got my poker cards. So you may be taking a gamble, okay? If not literally gambling, you could be taking a gamble or taking a chance with money or career, okay? We've also got 444. So this could be one of your special synchronicities that Spirit sends to you. You could just be seeing it a lot lately. All right, you could be 44 years old, born on the 4th, born in April. It also breaks down to a 3, right? 12, 12, 12. 444 is 12, which is 3. When we talk about numerology, 4 is the number of stability in our archangels. 3 is the number of ascension in our ascended masters. The 1 and a 2 is initiation, right? And balance, moving forward, right? So we've also got a football. That's American football. We've also got a volleyball. So you may be in sports in general, but we definitely have football and volleyball. We also have my sausage slash kielbasa slash brat. All right, so you may have eaten sausages recently. You may be from a country that they're known for, like Italy or Poland or Germany. Okay, somewhere famous for their sausage. We also have, this charm has been making an appearance lately. Our mirror charm. Okay, this is our mirror charm. So you may be doing a lot of mirror work right now, whether you realize it or not. You could also be looking at all of these charms, taking a gamble on your value and letting go of certain things in the mirror that would put you in competition with yourself, right? High self, low self, especially because sports are competitive. So you may be at a point where you're trusting your value, even if you didn't quite see yourself as valuable before, right? And so now your shadow and your light are kind of going at it because your old self wants to believe you less valuable than your new self does. And so one is trying to validate or confirm against the other, right? Which happens when we shift. It happens. The old self tries to hang on, and we've got to, let it go. We've also got the unicorn. So you may be a very unique or magical individual. We've also got a Christmas tree. You may still have yours up or took it down today. In real time, we just got over the Christmas holiday. Whether or not you're catching it in divine time, I don't know when you're catching it, but Christmas. We've also got our caduceus. So could definitely be in the medical field or be dealing with significant medical issues right now, especially if you've been in a hospital recently. All right. You may also be healing from a medical issue. Like actually getting over something really serious. For those of you, because I'm just getting it real specific, for those of you who are battling some kind of cancer, or if you're dealing with a male who is dealing with some kind of cancer, especially if they're like of the lower regions, if there's some kind of cancer with like gender specific organs, that's healing. Okay. I've also got a sewing needle. I've got the sewing machine too. Could also be a sign that things are mending or coming together. This Dalmatian, man, I shake the shit out of Pineapple Charming, and this Dalmatian keeps coming out. So Dalmatians could be specific. It could also relate to firemen or the fire department. Okay. You may have witnessed a fire recently. You've also got, ooh, one of my cat charms. I was just talking about how I always get the dog charms, but never the cat charms. Here we go. We got one. We got one. Our little black cat charm. He's so cute, too. I've also got, ooh, a gift. So it could be a gift, literal, or like physical, like a physical gift, or a different kind of gift. Like, you know, if you are healing from something like cancer or know someone who is, then a second chance at life is like having a gift, right? If you were once an addict and on the verge of like ODing and stuff, and you get a second chance of life, like that could be considered a gift. So second chances could also be like that. The present could also be a reminder to stay in the present, right? To not get too caught up thinking about the past, ruminating on the past, or getting too caught up in the future and worrying about the future that you miss the beautiful things going on in the present. Okay. We've also got the Sun card. So it could be strong Leo energy. Depending on when you're catching this in divine time, it could be the sun sign of the season. You know, like right now, it's early January, it's Capricorn season, so you might be a Capricorn sun. If you were to catch this in July, you know, it might be a Cancer sun, it could be a Leo sun, right, depending on when you catch it. So, sun. We've also got Fortune. That's the Wheel of Fortune card. It's Jupiter energy. It's also Sagittarian energy, but it is beneficial energy regardless. So with the money bags and the fortune charm, I'm just saying, hey. We've also got the Moon card. So with the Moon card, you may also have a moon in Leo, a moon in Sag, right? You may have a moon conjunct Jupiter or in connection with Jupiter in some way in your chart that's more exact, right? And it could also be the moon sign that mirrors the sun sign of the time. So, you know, you could have a Capricorn moon because we're in Cap season. If you catch it at a later date, you could have your moon in that sign as well. We've also got, and it's Piscean energy. Okay, the Moon card is Piscean energy. We've also got a glass of red wine. And I just heard the red, red wine. Bob Marley. Oh my God. I'm not singing no more than that. We've also got what seems to be a very well-behaved monkey. So maybe someone has or feels like they've got their monkey mind under control. Some people view the moon card as Cancerian energy too. So, and to be fair, I do. So it could be that as well. Okay. Let's see. I've got 5 of my micro playing cards. Let me put this pin back in so I don't accidentally stick myself. Because I will. I've done it. We've got the Ace of Diamonds, the 6 of Diamonds, the 4 of Diamonds, the 4 of Swords, and the 6 of Swords. 4s and 6s and an ace. For a total of 11 diamonds and 10 swords. Well, 10 spades is swords, and 10 diamonds is, or 11 diamonds is 11 pentacles. Tarot equivalents, right? Someone might end up be feeling betrayed because you're choosing to reconnect with the self and move forward, right? Because we were talking about someone taking a gamble on their value. So someone might end up feeling betrayed because you're recentering and moving forward into your own abundance. I think you're holding tight on a new foundation where you're being given to more than you're being taken from. I'm getting this visual of being filled back up after depletion. So if someone feels like you're betraying them, they probably already betrayed you and just failed to see that. Maybe they thought you were stupid and wouldn't, see what they were fucking doing. Thought they were getting away with it, right? All right. And then we've got quite a few beads here. Now, signs. Let me pull all my sign beads out. I've got double Virgo. Okay, so you may have 2 significant Virgo placements, right? Sun, Jupiter, Sun rising, Moon rising, right? 2 significant placements at least in Virgo. I've also got Libra, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Gemini. All right, so those are the signs that came out. That is in addition to Leo, Pisces, Cancer, and Sag. Okay, specifically the Moon, Sun, or Jupiter placements might be significant with these signs here, okay, because technically they're all planetary, right? The Sun, the Moon, and Fortune is Jupiter, so you may have significant Sun, Moon, or Jupiter placements in any of those signs, right? Virgo, Libra, Gemini, Scorpio, or Capricorn. All right, now letters. Sometimes the letters get out of hand, guys. So, in the replay, if you want to fast forward through the letters, you can, if the charms are enough for you. Otherwise, we're going to fuck around with the letters. Okay. Now, the colors are only for people who really do need it, like super, super specific. Blue is for boys, pink is for girls. It doesn't matter to me what you resonate as long as it makes sense to you. And then we have black and white, which is yin and yang. White is yang, that's masculine dominant. And black is yin, that's feminine dominant, regardless of gender. Okay, just what you resonate heavy in the energy. Okay, hopefully you feel balanced. Okay, so we've got a blue U. We've got pink H and pink N. We've got white BB, so double B's. We've got white Y and white F. We've got black F, black Y, and black I. Okay. So BB, YY, FF, IU, NH. NH could be New Hampshire. We also have New York with NY. NF, you might listen to the artist NF. He's actually really fucking good. If you're not familiar with NF, you should totally take a moment to like look him up. We've got the word BUN, buns, and with the Y's, that's kind of cute because bunny, but you may have, I'm hearing a bun in the oven. So you may be pregnant if you don't know. Maybe you should go get tested to see if you are. You may also rock the big Jersey poof like I do, you know. Always have your hair in a bun. Male or female, because, well, the blue and the pink charms make that letter, that word. We also have got honey as a nickname and funny as well. So, you know, we can get rhymey all day. Let's see what else. U names that are blue. I mean, the only one that's really coming to my mind is Ulysses, because, you know, blue boys' names with a U. Yeah, I don't know what other U name you could have, but if you do, I mean, U is kind of specific. It could be a first, middle, or last name. And it could be Nancy, could be Nicole, could be Nina. These could be, any of these letters could be nicknames too. We also have, and it could be like Noel, Harriet, Bobby, Brenda, Fifi, Frank, Bonnie, have names in other languages that I just don't know because I'm way too American. So apologies in advance. You could have names that I would never think of. We've got Finn. So like Finn, Phineas. Bubba could be a nickname, or Bubby. Something, you might think of something being really iffy right now. I've also got hub here, so even hub with two B's. I got hubby, Hubby, outright. All right. Helen. BFF. So you, and this could be concerning about your BFF, if not your hubby, if they're not the same. Hopefully the reading's not bringing up the two of them in regards to other shit. Oh, hi, Mark. How are you? Let's see. I've also got IN for Indiana. HI for Hawaii. UN, so you might be living out in the UN, right? United Nations, anything that's a part of that. And I got FB, so Facebook. Any of these letters could end up being other abbreviations or things that you're familiar with. okay, that relate to you in your life. I'm also seeing Biffy. I'm not sure if you guys remember the band Biffy Clyro. Is that the name? They had a song that came out a while ago. It's been years now. I'm gonna have to look it up now. My phone's in the other room. Biffy Clyro. It was such a good song too. I'll put it in the comments with the timestamp. Biffy Clyro, in case you guys are guided to listen to the song. All right. If I see any other words pop out at me while I'm doing the reading, I will shout them out. Okay. Put them aside. Let's get some Astro Dice. Let's get some Astro Dice. Oh my gosh. All right, Astro Dice. Let's call them out. Ooh, we've got South Node, Virgo, and 11th house. So 11th house is Aqua's natal house. And South Node, Virgo, or Aqua, because they're polarities, would make North Node in Pisces or Leo. Okay. Pisces and Leo both came out in the charms. Virgo could also be 3rd house or 6th house because it's mercurial. Mercury also rules Gemini, so we'll count the 3rd house. So 11th house, 3rd house, 6th house, especially the 6th or the 11th house. Virgo and Aqua. Super specific if you've got South nodes in any of those signs or any of those houses. You might also have South node in the opposite sign, right? Leo or Pisces. And be dealing with South node opposing that sign, right? Opposing Virgo or Aquarius. Right now, South node is present day in Libra. Okay, so present day Libra, it could be at any given divine time another sign, right? South node changes signs about every 18 months. So you could take the sign in divine time, whatever South node's in. Okay, so we got South node, Virgo, and 11th house. Now, if you do just so happen to have all 3 of those, right? If you have South node and Virgo in the 11th house, the 11th house is the house of friendships and goals and dreams, right? Our soul tribe, not just friends who are our best friends, but friends in soul, deeply close friendships in soul, which don't always come out friendly in real life. Okay, sometimes your best friends in soul play the harshest roles in order to help you move forward through your life lessons here. Having the South node in that house and Virgo being the sign of the Virgin or charity, someone who works independently in the highest good of people. South node's like a magic eraser. So you would probably have a really difficult time making or maintaining friendships. Okay. You would probably feel, depending on what else you might even have in there, you might even feel rather disconnected from your dreams and have a really difficult time finding or feeling like you have a purpose, wanting to be of service, but not necessarily knowing how, in which case I would really push you to the North Node in Pisces, which is trusting. The North Node in Pisces is about trusting that you are on your highest path, whether you realize it or not. You don't detour. North Node in Pisces is about trusting that the divine knows what it's doing, and you are always in the right place at the right time, in the right energy, in the right mentality and mind frame to whoever you do meet and whenever you do cross their path. There's a reason for you. You heal soul deep, and you can't necessarily be aware of it, or it wouldn't be the same, right? Your presence wouldn't offer the same service if you were aware of it, right? We even had the gift charm come out, right? 444 was about angels. I mean, North Node in Pisces is kind of like an earth angel that just doesn't fucking know it. And they don't screw it up, right? They just are, and who they are is divine. So that would put your North Node in the 5th house. That would be exceptionally true for whatever your passion is, right? Whatever you take pride in, whether you take pride in your children or you take pride in your craft, right? Whatever your craft is. That's your purpose. That's your destiny's direction, right? Whatever creative pursuit that you pursue, whether it's creative in the generational sense with children, right? The creative vessel, or if you do have like a passion that is like your baby, right? Your business or whatever it is that you love doing. So do not fret if you have that placement and don't actually know what your purpose is. Your purpose is just to simply be and exist in this life, following your feel goods and whatever other guidance you have, right, within your spirit to trust yourself moving forward. Even if people disagree, because the whole idea of Pisces is undoing, right? Undoing the deep subconscious belief systems within the self and that of others that would be a part of your higher service and purpose. So just like 4 of spades, keep moving forward from a place of peace, you know, in whatever life sends you, wherever life takes you. You're one of those child divine type things, right? All right. In the world, not of the world, right? Okay. Now we're going to get into the harrow. See what this overall energy is. All right, Spirit. What energy do you need us made aware of in our highest good at this time? Ooh, the sickness is on the bottom with the eclipse. The foreign trader is under that. With the avalanche and the tangled briar. This is someone, the underlying issue, this is someone Because eclipse is when the light's being literally eclipsed out, where the light of the self would succumb to darkness. Technically, the moon that eclipses the sun is the feminine energy. The masculine is on the card freaking out, and the feminine is the sickness. It's actually a woman. So talking about duality within the self, not necessarily gender and individuals, but the duality within the self. The mind might be freaking out because the feminine energy has manifested something, and the feminine's in a toxic or damaged place, right? When we have solar eclipses, the light of the sun always guides, right? The masculine energy within the self is the shot calling, choice making, action oriented, drive and determination, willpower, half of the self, right? The yang. It's action oriented, choice oriented. It's what we think about and choose about. And it's always in control, right? The mind is always forever in control. It thinks it knows everything. There's always a way to get out of whatever, right? The mind runs the show. And the feminine, the yin, is the receptive, emotional, intuitive, feeling part of the self, right? It senses things. It's our gut feeling. When the masculine chooses something, the feminine either feels good about the choice or hates the fucking choice, right? We feel stressed out or we feel gratitude. We feel nervous or we feel at ease. We feel untrusting or we feel excited, right? There's different things that the feminine feels based on what the masculine chooses. This is the constant conversation going on within the self. So when we have an eclipse, okay, a solar eclipse specifically, the feminine speaks up to the point that the masculine energy doesn't know what's going on. It's when our energy or our vibration manifests something that the mind didn't see coming. Because the mind can choose to ignore how the feminine feels, right? Well, this puts me under a lot of stress. This makes me feel unloved. This makes me feel undesired. This makes me feel not good enough or unworthy or undeserving, right? Whenever I'm around this person, I don't feel good enough, and we don't realize that we're choosing things to avoid certain feelings only for it to manifest those feelings, right? Like being afraid of losing someone can cause that fear to become a reality. When we put off the intuition that says you probably shouldn't lie about that, you probably shouldn't hide that, you probably shouldn't be looking at this person like that, right? Like if you're a married individual and you have a happy partnership and your spouse loves you and they honor you and they're good to you, but you're off looking at somebody else and they're eye candy and you're hitting on them, right? Well, you shouldn't be doing that. You know what I mean? Like your heart space is saying, I don't actually feel good about doing that. Your mind is like, it doesn't matter. It's fine. They're hot, whatever, and it's just like, but the guilt, right? The feminine will feel guilt or the feminine will feel ashamed and the masculine might make excuses for it. Like, it doesn't matter. No one's going to know, blah, blah, blah. But the feminine doesn't feel good about it, right? The feminine and the mind knows that it's suppressing certain things. It's keeping secrets now, and it doesn't like the way it feels. It doesn't like the way it feels. When we hurt other people with our actions, knowingly or unknowingly, to them, we still feel it in the energy and we're all connected, right? We know what we would and wouldn't want done to us at the very least. If we don't know what is right and wrong, right? If we can plead ignorance and we don't know what is right and wrong, at the very least, we know we would or wouldn't like it if someone did it to us. Right. So when we do things to other people that we would not want done to us, the feminine feels some type of way about it. And if the masculine suppresses the feminine, at some point, the moon, which is the feminine, will eclipse out the sun. And something is made manifest due to what is buried inside the feelings with and beyond the masculine's control. Okay. With complete disregard for the masculine. The feminine cannot stay suppressed forever. For better or worse, right? For better or worse. So we're dealing with the fact that the mind is freaking out because the feminine feels like shit, right? The feminine is literally sick and rolling snake eyes, right? The feminine is sickly. It can't see how you could possibly keep choosing this, possibly keep having these types of excuses, right? The foreigner with the avalanche underneath and the tangled briar, the foreigner with the tangled briar, this avalanche energy, it's an energy outside of yourself that you've started to take as a part of you. Right? Like, let's just say someone gave you advice when you were younger and you might have repeated that advice multiple times inside your head, but it's not natural to you. It goes against the heart space, right? Like maybe someone said along the way, like, oh, everybody cheats. It's a part of life. You know, everybody cheats at some point. They're going to cheat. And it's just like, but that's not true. But if you keep telling yourself that, you know, eventually you think it's okay to cheat, or you think it's normal, or everybody does it. That's hurting the soul. It's hurting other people, right? Other people in the world are just facets of you, connections to you, right? So when you partake in those energies, you hurt other people and essentially hurt yourself in the process, because you will most likely lose those people, and or the dynamic that you had with them before you cheated is indefinitely changed, right? Irreversibly changed. They cannot unforget the fact that you were unfaithful, right? So there's belief systems that we can take on from people outside of ourselves that are not conducive to our highest good being made manifest, right? They're not ideal parts of ourselves. They don't fall in alignment with the golden rule, treating others the way you would want to be treated, right? So there's something within the feminine energy that doesn't feel good that is coming up and out to the surface. All right, it's manifesting in some which way, shape, or form. It's going to force you to look in and really, really put into perspective your belief systems, because when we have a painful belief, that's how eclipses happen, right? Metaphorical solar eclipses in our lives, when we don't understand that our belief systems actually create painful situations, right? Like, I'll give an example that's not like relationship or cheating related, because it's a really great example. I have a Facebook page, right? Miss Magic Rising on Facebook. And I post things on a regular basis. Well, this one was a quote about from Carl Jung, and it was talking about, you know, the things that irritate us and others, for, you know, kind of give us opportunities to better understand the self. And one woman said, I don't believe that to be true. And I said, it can be true, though. I said, if you think about it, she goes, because she said something about people annoying her and forcing their energy on her all the time, annoying her on purpose. I said, okay. I said, well, as an example, I was like, you might be dealing with annoying people and they annoy you all the time, right? I said, but what irritates you is an opportunity for you to better understand yourself. I said, how are you annoying yourself then by consistently choosing these people, right? You choose to be around these people, though. Well, they annoy me on purpose. They force themselves on me. They need to change. They need to change. And I said, I don't disagree that they should change and be less annoying. However, that's not what we're talking about. If you change, though, then they wouldn't be in your mirror anymore. They wouldn't be in your experience anymore, right? you're forcing your own annoying energy on yourself, thinking that you have to persist. Because she went off on another tangent about, you know, how she tries to heal others all the time and goes above and beyond all the time and forces, you know, herself to help people that don't want it, and they just come back at her. And I said, but it's not your job to heal them, right? It's your job to heal you. That's why we're here having this discussion. I said, I really do think that you should take into consideration the perspective shift, right? Because she was really dead set on blaming other people. And I said, you know, my life, I said, I've had people force their energy on me too, as young as 6 years old. I had a grown man force his energy on me in a very unwanted way, right? Now, the body's age is an illusion. It doesn't matter, right? My soul was essentially learning healthy boundaries as an empath. That's what I came in here to learn. It's been my whole life lesson that I could be an empath and I can read people's energy and I can care deeply about people wanting to heal, but that I cannot force healing on them. Right? I cannot force love on them. Some people are not ready to be loved. They don't want to be loved. They don't want to heal. They're not ready to heal. And the more I try and show them their beautiful side, the more I try and love them into a better person, right? It's painful for me, right? It's painful for me. I was like, and at some point I had to learn that, you know what I mean? And once I learned that, I stopped dealing with people who were narcissistic or taking advantage of my kindness as a weakness, right? That I was loving them into healing, and that doesn't fucking work that way. You know, I said I had to take a look at the fact that, you know, they didn't want to change. They didn't want to change. They didn't want to heal. Well, what was I not healing? You know what I mean? It's this sickness. It's this belief system that I could heal someone if I just loved them enough. That belief system was foreign, right? That's something my father taught me. Well, maybe if I just love your mother enough, she'll change. My mother said the same thing about my father. Maybe if she just loves him enough, if she's a good enough wife, he'll stop drinking and gambling. He'll change. That was a belief system buried in my subconscious, right? We had the moon card come out in the charms. The moon talks about things that are suppressed in the subconscious. That's Piscean energy, right? South Node is erasing things. You know, so we have this idea in our minds that this is a certain way of being, but it's causing us pain. All of a sudden, the mind gets eclipsed and we get hit with things that we did not fucking expect because we thought and felt that this was the right way, that we persisted in doing something and choosing something despite feeling pain. Right? When we stick around in toxic relationships, even though it feels like shit, and deny how we got there in the first place, like there wasn't fucking red flags, including people who love you unconditionally warning you about said people. I don't know, something's off about them. Oh, you're hanging out with them? No, I'm staying in tonight. You know what I mean? Like red flags. All of a sudden, your friends don't want to hang around anymore because you're with so and so. Right? There's red flags. We ignore it. We choose it with our mind to ignore it. The feeling that says that's not right. They always want to hang out with me, and me and them are best friends. Why don't they want to hang around me anymore? I don't know. Maybe because the person you're seeing is a fucking 𝘗𝘗 every single time they're around. Red flags. We ignore them, and then we get all upset that we are trapped in a toxic relationship, and it's because we wanted to be the healing balm for some fucking person who didn't want to fucking heal. They wanted to heal, they'd choose it. So I'm starting up talking to this woman, right? And I said, this is the last I'm going to speak on it. You know what I mean? Like, respectfully, I disagree 100% with you that it's just other people that need to change. I disagree 100%. I like to take self-ownership. I heal inside my own mirror. I don't have people forcing themselves at me anymore. You know what I mean? So I'm practicing what I'm preaching, and it's working out for me. And all I could do is give you the same whatever. She doesn't respond. So then another woman in the comments said something similar. I don't know if I agree with that 100%. So I said, you know, me and this woman are having a back and forth in the comment thread about it. If you would like to join the conversation, you should meet us there, right? I invited her to join the conversation that me and this other woman were having. 2 days pass by, and this woman does not choose to partake in the conversation, but the original woman decides to come back into the comment with that woman and go off on this huge paragraph about how I'm annoyed and I'm this and I need to calm down because I'm irritated. And I'm reading the comment like, what? Like, respectfully, that woman might not have wanted you to force your energy on her. I invited her to the conversation. She didn't want to, though. So now you're forcing this whole conversation and throwing stuff out there that, you know, wasn't necessarily true. And I thought, how interesting, though, right? Because she's accusing people of being annoying and forcing their energy on others. But that's exactly what she was doing. It got annoying. At that point, I was like, you know, I don't even need this energy on my page. It's my page. Like, she could start her own and complain if she wants. You know, more power to her. But, you know, I'm here doing the best I can to show people there is a better way, and she's being counterproductive. So I blocked her and, you know, whatever. But that's my point. You know, we have this belief with other people that it's them, even just that belief in and of itself, that it's them and they won't change. I'm doing the best I can. If it wasn't for me, fill in the blank, right? How toxic is that? At some point, the rug gets pulled out from under you and shit happens that you did not intend. You did not intend. We've got the snake bite and the joke as the two cards that flew out. Snakebite's been making its appearance. It came out in the last spread. All right, so I'm going to read to you, if you're new here, what the snakebite is. It's an intelligence card. So is the joke, for that matter. These are, Harrow is D&D, by the way, so there's D&D lingo in these. The snakebite is the name of the blade. Okay. This dripping, oozing, chaotic, evil blade. Okay. The snake bite is a vile, poisoned weapon. Poison takes many forms, not all of them physical. The poison on the assassin's blade represents the death of ideas and freedom, as well as the ability to turn friends against each other or poison the minds of the virtuous. Okay. The joke is chaotic good. All right, so we've got chaotic evil and chaotic good. The joke shows a terror that must be overcome, but not by physical means. This monster can only be defeated by trickery or artifice. This card can represent the value of humor in finding a way past a difficult person or task. Okay. So when you have someone in your reality whose intention is quite literally evil, that it would poison the mind and take away your freedom, that you would feel like you have no choice, right? No freedom is no choice. That's no love, right? Because love in and of itself is the presence of choice. So when we're dealing with someone who is trying to take your choice away, who is poisoning your mind and making you feel like you are not free. Hey, Lori, how are you doing? You kind of have to face it with humor. The humor of the mirror for that, in that regard, you know, it's kind of like, how would I put that? Talking about the other example, right? I have healthy boundaries. I'm not going to spend time dealing with the woman that was in the comment thread, right? At some point I was like, look, I gave you my best advice and guidance. I know I'm not the only person in the world that can help you. It's not my job to heal you, right? That I literally put my money where my mouth is. I said, it is not your job to heal them. You can only heal yourself. I partook in that action. It is not my job to heal her. It is my job to heal myself, right? She could literally go off talking about like, oh, I got under her skin, right? And she was purposefully trying to get under my skin and whatever. But she got blocked, and she could think that she won because I blocked her. But at the end of the day, she kind of in the mirror blocked herself. It's tricky. It's tricky, right? Dealing with this in order to get around someone who's out of their best energy or blocking the way. It's like reminding you or them how silly certain things are. What a silly belief, right? What a silly position. If we look at this, a figure on the card here in the joke, there's a really small figure here. He's even got the little bag over his shoulder like the Fool in Tarot. And the Terror, right, this rock-eating beast, is blocking the path. And he's got him laughing, right? Like red in the face, laughing. Like, how do you get around a person like that? Maybe he's choking on his own rocks. Right? But it's kind of like, you know, you have to trust that you see yourself on the other side. Right? You can have all of this poison in your mind trying to tell you you have no choice. You're stuck, right? You can't get past this energy. You're stuck. But if you have faith, right, chaotic good, and can see yourself on the other side and just kind of wing it, knowing and trusting that you see yourself on the other side, and so you will get onto the other side, right? Where there's a will, there's a way. You intend to be on the other side. You're not giving into this idea of being stuck. You're not giving into this idea of having no choice but to either stay stuck or turn around or never get to where you're going, right? And you wing it. Trust, right? Full trust in yourself. I don't think you would not get to the other side, right? Because you're unwilling to see the defeat. You're not going to be careless and reckless and stupid, but you are going to trust your vision and take actions, right? So think about that. There's always a way out of the situation. There's always a way out of the situation. You just have to trust what you don't necessarily see. Your soul song, you know what I mean? Your purpose. You might not see your purpose, but it's there. And if you trust that you can get to the other side being a part of your purpose, well, it can't be kept from you then. Right? The poison in the mind holds no consequence if you don't give it power to do that. We're talking about taking a gamble with the charms, right? That your angels, your archangels 444 was supporting you. Trusting your authenticity as the unicorn, right? Believing in your newfound value. We were talking about that with the charms. That your old self, right? Your old self and your new self are in competition with each other. Trying to hold power, right? They're trying to hold power. Trying to shut the other out. Let's get some more insight. going to start with the Chakra Oracle. The Chakra Wisdom Oracle, or Tarot. Chakra Wisdom Tarot. We get there in the end. All right, Spirit. So insight into the situation. What is actually going on with this energy? What is actually going on with this energy? Yes. Yeah, there's the 10 swords. We had the 4 and the 6 of spades come out for 10 spades. Yo. Lots of solar plexus cards here. 4 out of 7. 2 are sacral. One throat. Bottom of the deck is the Emperor. It's the masculine. Top of the deck is the Chariot. You know, I'm just going to pull the vice versa with it. Let's get this whole message out here. Because this is fucking intense. Hang tight, guys. I will explain. This is fucking intense. Clarify the strength in reverse, please. Clarify the 10 of swords. Clarify the Knight of Swords. Clarify the Devil. Clarify the 3 of Swords. Clarify the High Priestess. And clarify the 3 of Wands. All right. Bottom of the deck is the Wheel of Fortune. Top of the deck is the World. Okay. Major Arcana on the top and bottom of both decks. That's wild. This is intense, y'all. Ooh, and the Death card is underneath the Emperor. Ooh, that is ego death. Oh, that is ego death. All right. There's definitely some kind of closure manifesting. Something's done. Okay. Something is super done. Unrevivable done. unrevivable done. Chariot is forward movement. The masculine, the mind, is being humbled to shit, and it is being forced forward. It is being forced forward. It is going through a crazy ego death. When we see the eclipse card, that is clarified 100-fold. Okay. The Strength card came out with the Empress in the back face. Now this symbol on the back of her throne, because this is the Empress in the front. Okay. In the back, the symbol on the back of her throne, I believe, is the Hebrew symbol Daleth, which represents a door. The Strength card in reverse is someone whose ego is out of control, where the feminine turned their back on the masculine and left a door for the masculine to walk through. Okay. Left a door. A way forward, right? That the mind would not be completely locked out. So whether the masculine energy realizes it or not, right? The mind, whether the mind realizes it or not, the feminine put the pieces together for the masculine to understand in hindsight. If they were to, if someone were to actually go back and retrace the events and how they felt every time they were making a choice, they could understand how they ended up where they are. They would actually understand how they got to where they are. Because the Ten of Swords comes after it with the King of Swords, and the King of Swords is in the back face, facing the lightning. You can see the sickle here. Lightning is Uranian energy. It's revelation. And so in the sabotage of the self, because the Ten of Swords is betrayal, but we only get betrayed in the outer experience when we have betrayed the self, the higher self, or how the feminine wanted to feel, right? We get betrayed by people who we ignored our feelings about. We ignored red flags. We ignored warnings, right? Red flags are our feminine energy saying, if you continue to pursue this, it's not going to feel good, right? Red flags are the divine feminine's way of warning the self. Do not continue to pursue this. We're flashing red flags at you. It doesn't feel good, right? Intuition is feminine energy. It's something's not right. Do not get involved, you know? If there's some kind of betrayal, it's because the self was already sabotaged, right? The self already chose to sabotage when it started ignoring certain things that the feminine was cluing the masculine into. And now the masculine is looking at the storm and realizing truth in it. Okay. Painful truth. The Ten of Swords is painful. To realize that you coulda, shoulda, woulda chose better. And if you did, it would have avoided all of this shit. You know, it's bittersweet revelation. It's like you're glad you learned it, but at the same time, like you did learn it the hard way. The Knight of Swords then comes out, right? We get the knight racing through the storm, and it comes out with the Four of Cups. I mean, not the Four of Cups, the Four of Wands and the Ace of Cups. Okay. So seeing the truth inside the detriment of the self, the masculine or the mind, right, is thinking about communicating and rushing in, talking about dreams, talking about happily ever after, talking about love, talking about overflow, talking about compassion, talking about trying to get whatever vision of love they're holding now. Thing is, the feminine is haunting as the shadow. We got the Devil with the Five of Wands. The feminine feels conflicted when they can't actually control it. Right? No one can control when a volcano erupts. We would love to. But we can't, right? And so, yes, the masculine is having revelation that it ignored the feminine. But the feminine in control, right? That shadow that is the eclipse, the sickness, right? Is manifesting conflict because it's teaching you a lesson, right? It's teaching a lesson. The feminine is teaching the mind a lesson. You cannot ignore me and learn it, and then everything is better and great. You will deal with the repercussions, right? You will deal with the restriction that I'm putting on because you cannot forget this. It's like, hey, Kristen, how you doing? I am doing well. It's like, let's just say hypothetical as fuck scenario. You got a narcissist and an empath, right? Empath, the narcissist is the love of their life, right? They would do anything for the narcissist. But ultimately, the narcissist hurts the shit out of them to the point that the empath has no choice but to leave, okay? And they split. Maybe they don't talk for forever. Narcissist gets involved with someone else. Maybe the empath does or doesn't, right? But time goes forward and the narcissist realize just how much they want the love of the empath back, right? That no one loved them like the empath did. No one cared about them the way the empath did. No one considered them like that before or after, right? They realized that they should have treated them better because there's nothing better out there, right? The empath was literally the best of the best of the best that the narcissist could possibly ask for. They're having this revelation. They're realizing they fucked up. They want to communicate and love bomb, you know, like, I love you. I care about you. I miss you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Like, you're my one, blah, 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 right? Hi, Kosh. How you doing? And thank you. Love from the States. And the feminine is stepping in and saying, you know, you can feel all of these things now. But the fact of the matter is, the empath might be looking at you like you're the fucking devil, though. Right? You can't actually undo what you did. There's conflict there, right? The Five of Wands with the devil. There's conflict there. You can't just make people forget who you were because you have become privy now to who you were when maybe you didn't realize it before. You know, it's going to feel like crap. It's going to feel like crap. The Three of Swords comes out next with the Judgment and the Tower. Three of Swords comes out with the Judgment card and the Tower. Now, the Three of Swords, the heart in this card is wreathed in fire, and she's holding her hand over it while it's wreathed in this fire, okay? It's almost like she's attempting to purge it out, right? A cleansing by fire, even though the swords are still in it. Having to humble the self, right? If they really want to resurrect it, the masculine of whoever, right? The Emperor. If they really do want to resurrect it, if they really, really do see how they fucked it up and they have value now, right? They see value now that they didn't see before. In the mirror of things, right? We go back to the charms that we had the mirror charm come out, right? Being in the mirror. Seeing value where you didn't see it before, taking a gamble. Are you willing to go all in? That's the question. Do you believe in yourself enough that you could go all in and know that you're going to win? Like you can't come to this hand, because it's like poker. You can't come to this pot bluffing. If you want the jackpot of jackpots, right? And you're going to go all in, you got to know you have the best hand. You've got to know, like, you've got the royal straight flush. The highest there is. Nothing's going to beat you. Because you're determined, right? You're determined to be different than you were before. If you want to win and who you were lost before, and you are unwilling to lose now, then you really have to know you're coming forward with your best and that it's a permanent change, right? The World card is permanent change. The Death card underneath the Emperor is permanent change. That's how you get the Ace of Cups overflow, right? When you start to King of Swords, see the higher perspective where you were once confused. How you could value something toxic, right? Belief system, person, otherwise, over something real and genuine. We do have the High Priestess with the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Wands is in reverse, which is good, to be fair. You already know. It is literally a so close and yet so far kind of thing. You've got to drop the burdens that you're carrying from other people, right? That foreign trader energy, right? We talked about earlier, the energy that is not yours, the belief systems that are not yours, the belief systems that avalanche, sabotage yourself, and bury you alive. You already know. You cannot make other people's problems your problems anymore. Other people's false beliefs or faulty beliefs your beliefs anymore. You have to be willing to learn completely new things. We've got the Three of Wands. This is the journey, right? The Three of Wands. This is the journey, moving into the light, moving into the destination, right? First step. We've got the Fool and the Hierophant. This is new beliefs. Literally new beliefs. The Fool card is new, and the Hierophant is beliefs. In order to move forward on the journey, you literally have to be willing to have a new belief system. You cannot keep moving forward with the same belief system and think you're going to have a different outcome. What is that definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over again, but expecting different results is insanity. You're doing the same thing. You're holding the same belief system, the same energy over and over and over. The sickness, right? You keep having this sick feminine energy is going to keep eclipsing you. You're going to keep having the rug pulled out from under you in this life until you change your belief system. Right? The poor woman I was talking to on my Facebook page is unfortunately going to keep having people annoy her and force energy on her until she changes her belief system. Oh, I can choose different. I can choose to cut the annoying people out of my life. I can choose to get a new job. I can choose to move out of this town. I can choose to stop dealing with my landlord. I can choose all kinds of things. If I cut the toxic out enough and value myself enough, maybe the universe will stop throwing it at me. And it does. And it does. The universe is making sure you understand the mirror. That you can recognize when bullshit pops up and you're like, no, my old self would have humored that. My old self would have got triggered. My old self would have felt some type of way. And this new self doesn't give two fucks. Respectfully. New self don't give two fucks. That's a them problem. It's a them problem. You know, if you've got someone in your mirror and the only person they really fucking care about is them, and they're willing to lie and cheat and manipulate people to get what they want, and they don't give a shit about you, well, then you have to consider you 100%. Because if they consider themselves 100% and don't care about you at all, you really do have to consider yourself 100% and not care about them at all. In the divine mirror of things, you got to do what's best for you. Doesn't matter if it hurts them or not. And that's the mirror. If they're in hurt energy and willing to hurt people, then they have to understand they're going to get it back. And that's the eclipse. That's the eclipse. Right? Like the day the empath leaves the narcissist. The narcissist didn't give a shit about the empath and how the empath felt. The empath was in a ton of fucking pain no matter how much they tried to help and heal and bring happiness to the narcissist. The narcissist wasn't giving two fucks about the empath when they were taking advantage of him, cheating on him, betraying him, lying to him, gaslighting him, beating on him, whatever. Using them. Narcissists didn't give a shit about the empath. They only cared about themselves and what the empath was doing for them. Well, at some point, the empath is going to eclipse the shit out of the narcissist and only give a fuck about themselves and not care if the narcissist is upset if they leave. They're not going to care what kind of dire straits the narcissist finds himself in when they walk out the fucking situation. Sorry, you're not going to abuse me, take advantage of me, beat on me, make me feel small anymore. I'm going to empower myself, right? At some point, when the belief system changes irreversibly, I'm valuable. I don't deserve to feel this way. I'm valuable. I don't care if it's my family. I don't care if it's my friends. I don't care if it's my job. I don't care if it's my partner. I don't care if it's my grown ass kids. If they don't value me, respect me, consider me, if they do diminish me, take me for granted, abuse me, gaslight me, lie to me, I'm done. I'm too valuable to be treated like that. I value myself. If you're not going to love me, I'm going to love myself. If you're not going to consider me, I'm going to consider myself. Right? This is the new belief system. Some people really do believe like, well, as long as everybody else is happy, it's okay if I'm not happy. As long as I suffer and everybody else is happy, that's all that matters. As long as they're happy. What A royally fucked belief system, that is. It's okay. Everybody else deserves to be happy and feel loved. And if I'm not, that's okay. Who taught you that everybody else deserves to be happy and loved and considered, but not you? And that's okay. That is a toxic as fuck belief system. You mean to tell me that you sacrifice yourself and you work your ass off and no one tells you that they love you and appreciate you or do things to make your life easier? For real? What are you doing? Can you not speak up about things that would make your life easier? Can you not at least attempt to teach the people that you do for how to love you better? Let's just benefit of the doubt, say they're ignorant and they don't know how to love you better. Or they think they're loving you, but they're not, right? They don't actually speak your love language. You have to at least attempt to communicate to your partner, to your boss, how to better treat you. And if they don't want to hear it, if they don't want to shift, but they want to continue taking from you, you need to wake up, sweetheart. You need to wake up. You do not deserve to be abused and taken advantage of. I don't care what you've done in your life that is punishable, punish-worthy. As far as I'm concerned, you were ignorant and had false beliefs that you learned from somebody else in their own wounded state and didn't learn any better. You didn't know better. You know better now. You didn't know your worth then. You know it now. You don't deserve to be punished for your mistakes. You don't deserve to be punished for your ignorance. Think about that. You were ignorant. How could you be punished for something you didn't fucking know? Oh, yeah. You know cheating is awful. Yeah. And you cheated. Yeah. And that's awful. But the fact of the matter is you didn't know your worth and you were seeking validation from outside sources. And that unfortunate wound was bleeding out and it was creating an insatiable, nothing is good enough, I'm never satisfied with anything feeling. You were ignorant to your value. Yeah, you were not ignorant to the fact that cheating was awful, but you were ignorant to your value. And that created a detrimental level of worthlessness. And you would have taken that attention from anybody you could possibly get it from because your self-worth was that low. You were ignorant to your value. So can you please forgive yourself and stop punishing yourself with people who take advantage of you because you did things in your past from a place of ignorance, whether you realized it or not. Because your parents taught you that you were worthless, that you weren't worth their time, that you weren't worth their love, that you weren't worth kind words, that you weren't worth a hug. And now you have issues with affection and you don't know how to be affectionate because no one took the time to teach you how valuable it is. Can you please forgive yourself for your ignorance and stop punishing yourself with people who just hurt you and perpetuate that hurt? Can we really have that conversation? Because your heart space is sick and it doesn't feel good and it creates eclipses and tower moments and betrayal in your life. And you've got to move on from this. You've got to move on from these patterns. You've got to see yourself living a better life. You've got to be able to envision yourself with a fucking smile on your face, for crying out loud. Can you do that? Aren't you deserving of that? Let's get some guidance. It's the Shaman's Dream Oracle. So Some of these cards are as no bullshit, no sugarcoating as I am, y'all. So they don't cuss like I do, but they don't come with a parental warning. I do. So let's see. What is the guidance with this message, please, Spirit? What is the guidance, please? We've got Netcaster and Jeweled Web. Preparations come to fruition and connectivity. Cards 42 and 32. The art on these cards is so pretty. Now these are quick reads, but we gonna read. Card 42, Netcasters first. If you want, I'm going to hold it up to the camera so you can screenshot it if you want to. Okay. It says, Netcaster. Preparations come to fruition. A surprise. A result beyond expectations. The Netcaster arrives to tell you to stop praying for the fish. They have arrived. And it's time that you cast your net, lest they swim away. Everything that you long for is within reach. But it has been so long since your prayers were answered that you have forgotten how to receive what is being offered to you. Put down the prayer beads and open your arms and your heart to rewards beyond measure. Cast your net. Take the step that you have been planning for so long. Remember that the fish wait for no one, so time is of the essence. Heaven and earth are in perfect alignment for your victory. The stars are positioned for success. The only one who can spoil the perfection of the moment is you. If you ask, do I really deserve this? You will sabotage the magic and shatter the crystalline flawlessness of the now. The Netcaster can also arrive to bring you bad news, to tell you that you have been snared in someone's trap and must wiggle free. Right now, it feels comfortable enough even as the net begins to tighten around you. Do not wait until it is suffocating you before realizing you must escape and run for your life. It is still early enough to exit gracefully. Bide your time until all the conditions are right. Go to your place of stillness, of deep quiet, and watch for the signs that a new opportunity has arrived. Right now, you are patient because you feel that things will go your way. Learn to be patient with the people and situations that are more challenging. You know, it goes back to the fact that we had this beautiful little gift charm come out, right? About being in the present and knowing that sometimes the only way to get out of a terrifying situation is with a little bit of finesse, okay? A little bit of finesse. The humor of the mirror, right? Understanding the mirror. knowing that the time will present itself that you could get around this obstacle, right? Whatever or whoever the obstacle is. Hey, Lorraine, how you doing? Yeah, sometimes you have to take action. Sometimes you have to take the shot, right? Sometimes you do have to communicate, right? That Knight of Swords. Once you have that revelation, sometimes you have to communicate that this is the energy that you're in, and know that you're deserving, that you're not going to sabotage yourself again. That you're not going to sabotage it again. And if whatever you cast your net out for doesn't get caught, if you can't get it back, that's fine. Then there's something else out there that is meant for you and in alignment with your newfound revelation of self, right? That you cannot treat people the way that you did before, because the last time you did that, it cost you someone permanently, right? Especially if you tried to reconcile with someone and it doesn't work. Then you really have to accept that, okay, I really did fuck it up and I really cannot do that again, right? Or if you catch it and you have that opportunity, you have to understand it is because you trust yourself that you deserve it this time, that your actions are going to deserve it this time, that you're not going to sabotage it again, that you're going to remain in the realization of its value, right? Your value, that who you're presenting yourself as now is respectable, that who you are now is worth the time, is worth the effort, is worth the consideration. Maybe you didn't earn the consideration you were getting before, but you earn it now. Maybe you got love unconditionally without reciprocity before and it cost you someone. So now if you want to get love unconditionally, you know you have to unconditionally love in return. If someone treated you the way they wanted to be treated and they lived by the golden rule, you know you're going to keep them because you're living by the golden rule now and you're treating them the way you would want to be treated. You trust yourself now. That's the only way to move forward as the net caster. That was a divine confirmation of everything else that we've been talking about, including the part where we were talking about red flags and needing to catch it early and listen to the feminine energy so that you don't get fucking whooped later. You got to pay attention to the red flags. People that love you unconditionally, like, I don't know about them. I don't really like them. I cannot tell you, because I'm honest as fuck. I cannot tell you how many of my friends over time asked me what I felt about their boyfriend or their girlfriend. And I was like, I don't know. Something's kind of off about them. Like, I'm happy you're happy, but something about their energy, I just really don't like it. Or they did this or they said that. And I don't like that they said that to you. Or I don't like that they did that behind your back. Like, I don't like it. They're like, oh, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward 2 years later, 4 years later, 8 years later. It's fucking brutal. It's brutal. And I'm like, damn if they haven't said to me at least once, I wish I would have listened to you. I wish I would have listened. I would have saved myself 8 years of bullshit. One of my poor friends, 8 years of bullshit. I ended up losing touch with her for a hot minute until they broke up. And then all of a sudden we were able to connect again. Right? The mirror of energy. You've got to be able to see the red flags. You've got to understand that you are worth casting the net, that you are worth that effort to cast out, and that equally, whatever you catch deserves to be free too, right? Like, just like you wouldn't want to get caught in somebody's net. Whatever you're quote unquote catching, it's essentially to keep it free. Maybe you catch it just to catch its attention and ask if you could swim alongside of it. Can we both swim free together? Can I join you? Can I not lose you in the ocean this time? Right? Be patient and know that things will go your way. Trust if it's in your highest good, you can't lose it. You just can't lose sight of the vision. Now the jeweled web. I'm going to hold this up as well so you guys can screenshot it if you want. Okay. Jeweled web. Connectivity, no separation, the feeling state. Approaching any oracle requires you to come in with certain expectations. You're either looking for confirmation of what you already know, or attempting to shed light on what eludes you on the obvious path you're on. You're asking whether you will reach a desired goal of some kind. You're rarely able to see beyond memory or projection. And so, naturally, everyone comes to the oracle with a narrow perception of what's possible. Imagine that the answer to your question is not about landing at a particular destination, meeting a goal, connecting to a special lover, reaching an end game, or experiencing anything specific. Instead, you discover a shimmering web of jewels you didn't know existed. The world is interconnected in a living web of energy. It isn't possible to know how any of it works, but know this. What is in your highest good is a sparkling jewel that lights up for you among this web of possibilities. You just need to know how you want to feel and choose this consciously. Take your focus off getting anywhere. Practice feeling and being in a place where your desired experience has already come to pass. Who will you be when this is true for you? Can you be that now? Feel that now. Practice that. The better you know your path within this web of life, the more it will light up for you. It is celebrating you already. That's why I said earlier, like, can you picture yourself smiling? At the very least, can you visualize yourself smiling? Not in any specific place, doing any specific job, with any specific amount of money, in any specific house, with any specific people. Can you just picture yourself smiling? Can you visualize yourself happy and laughing from the bottom of your gut? Just belly laughing. Can you picture yourself at peace? Can you picture yourself feel what it's like to not be worrying about anything? That you can picture yourself enjoying the moment, knowing it's all good. Life is good. Everything is good. Because that's how you take actions. That's where you take actions from. If we're all connected and your highest good is a sparkling jewel that lights you up, right? All you have to do is trust and have faith, right, between these two cards, that if you are in that energy, and you take action and cast out a net, or you are in that energy and you know it's just a matter of time before the divine guides you in a certain direction to get you out of a situation that does not align you with how that feels. If you could just hold that visual, hold that feeling, and trust your actions from that moment forward, you're going to catch it. Your highest good path, you'll land right back on it, whether you know what that looks like or not. You know, my journey, at one point, I knew that I had to go heal. I was with a good man. I was with a good man. And I knew I had to heal. And I fell in love with someone who was not healed. Who was not healed, just like me, only in the opposite end of the spectrum. Now, who I was when I was with the good man, who I was not ready for. I hurt him. I hurt him multiple times. Multiple times. So much so that when I finally had the revelation that I wanted to be with someone who treated me like that I wanted to be with someone who loved me like he did, when I finally had that revelation, it was most definitely already too late. It was definitely too late. And so I had to trust that I knew how to be loved, right? That I knew that that's how I wanted to be loved. I wanted someone who considered me. I wanted someone who, you know, did what they did in life to make sure that I was safe, to make sure that I was stable, to make sure that I didn't have to do anything I didn't want to do, because he was doing what he loved. It just so happened that he made enough money that I didn't have to work if I didn't want to. Working was a choice. Given I would always choose to work, I would be working at something. If I needed anything, he had me. Like, he was the most considerate person I was ever with. I was not ready, right? And I hurt him. I hurt him a lot. I didn't know my own value. I didn't see what he saw. Like, I was in a rough spot, but I knew I had to heal. I knew I had to heal because I was sad every day. I didn't understand why I was sad. I had everything anybody could ask for. I had a new car. I had a house. I was with my son. I had the ability to cook dinner every night. I had a barbecue pit out back. Like, he wrote my name in the driveway. I had everything anybody could ask for. Why was I sad? I had to go figure it out and heal, and I hurt him. I hurt him. By the time I realized it, it was too late. So I knew how I wanted to be loved. And then I realized, with the relationship I had after that, where I poured my entire self in it, trying to get out of him what the first person had given me, right? Poured my whole self in. I learned in that relationship how I am capable of loving at my best. I learned just what my love is capable of doing for someone else. Now, between the two experiences, I know how to love and be loved. I'm not willing to settle for less of either. I don't want to be in a relationship where I don't pour all in. I loved pouring all in. I will say that. Even as toxic as the relationship was, I loved loving him. Loved it. I loved that version of myself. It was the most beautiful version. I would want to give that to someone who loves me the way the first person did. You know what I mean? So you take the lessons. Now, hypothetically speaking, because I did wholeheartedly apologize to the first one and did try and reconcile, right? Did have the revelation of the self, right? Did have the revelation of the self and communicate that that is what I wanted. I did. I did experience this feeling of the shadow of the feminine saying, yeah, but you took it too far. You hurt him too much. You can't change it now, right? And that's the conflict. You can't change it now. They moved on. They wish you nothing but the best. There's no hard feelings, but respectfully, they're not opening that door with you again, right? I had to trust that whatever is meant to find me will find me. For some of you, that will be the case. For others of you, you might have another out. You might have a second chance. Because to be completely fair, when I communicated that to my ex, I meant it wholeheartedly, given I would not be here right now if he took me back. So everything is divine, right? There's a divine reason for everything. It wasn't meant for him to take me back because I wouldn't be here. But had he taken me back, I would have given him the best love there was. I wholeheartedly believe that I could and would. Wholeheartedly. Would have gave him my best. So if you're in that position where someone is coming to you and they're communicating from this place, discern, okay? Because if you don't feel good about it, you don't feel good about it, and that is what it is. You will meet somebody else. You will meet somebody else in alignment with your beautiful energy. You just have to hold that vision, right? And you'll get there eventually. Cast out the net. And if it's valuable, treat it like it's valuable. And remember your own worth, okay? If someone comes back, in this energy, know that change is possible. It is possible. Hey, Karina. Yeah, long time. Yeah, change is possible. I'm not the same person I was with my first boyfriend or the second. I'm not the same. The first Grace didn't know their value and was being loved to the point that it was painful because I didn't feel deserving of it. And I didn't know why. The second relationship I loved absolutely 100 times 100% in, but was not being valued at all in return, truly. So I am not the same Grace. Because the Grace I am now would not ruin a relationship with someone like I was in the first place. And the Grace I am now would never be in a relationship with the person that I left in the second one. I would never tolerate that. I would never ignore the red flags because they were there. They were there. Trust your own wisdom after experience. Trust your own growth. If you can grow, so can other people. Sometimes people go through eclipses. Sometimes people go through storms. Sometimes people get betrayed and they face the fact that their fucking ugly energy manifested it. And they realize that they never, ever, ever, ever want to live a life outside of the one they have with you ever again. Sometimes they do. It works out differently for everyone. You got to decide what is right for you and then trust that. Trust that. Trust your value. Trust that the divine will see your energy and conspire in your favor. The universe will conspire in your favor. You just got to hang tight and trust that you're different than you were. And that you're never going back to who you were when you were wounded, because those wounds fucking sucked royally, you know? Trust your growth. Trust your growth. I would never revert back to who I was. Never. Never. I'm going to keep all the best parts of myself. All of them, because they're beautiful and I love them. But I'm going to make sure that I'm getting the best of someone else in return. I never did that before. I never did that before. You know, trust your newness. Trust the mirror. Trust your own energy, that when you move forward and you hold on to your peace, right? The charms that came out. The Ace of Diamonds was the Ace of Pentacles. That's the solid new foundation. The Six of Diamonds with the Four of Diamonds. That is holding on to the fact that you can both give and receive reciprocity. That you would hold your peace with the Four of Spades and move forward. Move forward with your peace. The Six of Swords. Because you understand what Ten of Swords feels like and you are unwilling to experience Ten of Swords, Three of Swords, devil karmic attachment to toxic ever again. In yourself or another, or what is typically the simultaneous reality of both. Right? You can live a better life than you've lived. You can live a better life than the people who taught you how to live, who taught you what to expect from life. You can live better. You can choose better. You can smile more. You can be more abundant and more stable, as long as you choose it. As long as you choose it. You know? Like I said, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for your past ignorance. I was ignorant as shit. I didn't know. I didn't fucking know. Grace 10 years ago did not fucking know. So, like, don't beat yourself up on what you didn't fucking know until you knew it. You didn't know until you knew. Do not be hard on yourself. Just love your own self-awareness and the fact that you are able to shift and grow and change and evolve and not be the same. Love that you have the ability to choose that, right? Be eternally grateful. Be eternally grateful that you are the creator of your life, and you can choose to override your wounds and override your trauma and just simply choose to be better, because it feels really good to do that. All right, y'all. I love you. Thank you to everybody who popped up in the live chat and everybody who leaves me comments in the replay and everybody who appreciates me enough to drop likes. I love you. Thank you. And don't forget, guys, if you do want to catch January's monthly reading, that reverted back to members only, but you could still catch it and replay it if you want to get the January monthlies. All right. The weekly duality report is going to revert to members only at the end of the day tomorrow. All right. That's also in the, both of those are in the live tab of the channel. Okay. Until next we meet. Feel loved and stay blessed. See you later.